The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, book written by Robin Sharma. This guy named Julian, who was a very successful lawyer. He was famous, rich. He had a big mansion, a private jet and a Ferrari, but even after achieving these high things in his life, he was not satisfied. He wanted more fame, more money, which led him to a point where he was working for almost 18 hours a day. As a result, he got divorced. He barely interacted with his family. And boy, did he look like an 80-year-old man even though he was just 53. So once during a regular courtroom session, he felt some pain around his chest area and suddenly he fainted. When Julian came back to senses, doctors advised him not to go so hard on himself, as he really was not in a position to sustain all that pressure. They asked Julian to quit his job and live his life peacefully with all that he has earned. This came as a shock to him. I mean, he had been winning all cases his entire life, but when it came to the case of his own life, he looked like a loser. He took a few days to dig at this fact and slowly he started to realize all his mistakes. So one fine morning he took a very bold step. He started to selling every materialistic thing that he possessed. He sold his mansion, his private jet, he even sold his Ferrari. Once he was done selling things, he set out on a journey in search of the true meaning of life. This journey was towards the mystical land of India, across the great Himalayan range where these Indian monks resided. These monks were not ordinary, as they were among the people with the highest level of wisdom, and they were capable of liberating the potential of anyone's soul, body, and mind. Julian had his sources from where he gets to know that these monks live happily for more than 100 years. The two with the energy of a young man. It took him days to find one of those monks who, upon listening to Julian's story, agreed to take him to their secret village. Julian started living there with those monks in that village. Watching Julian's dedication, the monk leader decided to teach Julian the principle of life on a condition that Julian will not keep that knowledge to himself. Rather, he would spread it to the outside world. So the monk started narrating a story. Imagine you are sitting in a beautiful garden, which is full of different types of trees, flowers, and you can see many birds jumping around. The flowers in the garden smell really nice and you're having a good time there. You notice that there's a lighthouse in the middle of the garden, and suddenly the door of the lighthouse creaks open as you can see a sumo wrestler coming out of the lighthouse. It's really weird to look at the sumo wrestler as he's just wearing underwear made of thin wire. He wanders around and finds a golden stopwatch lying in the garden. As soon as he tries to pick it up, he slips and he falls on the ground, lying motionless. After some time, you could see that he gets back to his sense, probably because of the nice fragrance of the rose in the garden, and he looks towards his left. Once he left was a path puffed out of a small diamond which led to a place where the sumo wrestler can find all the happenings in his life. He starts walking on that path and soon gets out of sight. Julian asked the monk if this was some kind of joke. This story makes no sense at all. The monk then said that this is no ordinary story, as the story has 7 biggest principles of life. He then went there and started explaining the story, leading it to its hidden meaning. The first principle is related to the garden. The garden in the story symbolizes our brain. If you sow good seeds, you will eventually be nice fruits on trees, good plants bearing beautiful flowers, and nice smooth grass. But if you put a garbage inside the garden, or if you stop watering the plants, the place will soon turn into a dump. Similarly, if you flood your brain with the positive thoughts like kindness, love, empathy, and if you keep motivating yourself, your brain will develop into this beautiful garden bearing good thoughts. This will help you achieve great things in his life with inner peace. But if you think negative, or if you don't give your brain some regular exercise, it will turn into the garbage dump which can only yield something poisonous. It's rightly said, an empty mind is devil's workshop. Exercises. Heart of the rose. Find a nearby object, it doesn't matter what, and pick it up. Take 5 minutes to sit quietly and concentrate on that object. Observe everything about its shape, color, texture, even scent. Don't try to fight against intruding thoughts. Instead, acknowledge and then dismiss them. At the end of the 5 minutes, write down how you feel. How often did you find your thoughts drifting from your chosen object? What sorts of thoughts commonly distracted you? Next time you practice the heart of the rose, what will you do when intruding thoughts break your focus? Opposition thinking. When a negative thought occupies your mind, you can replace it with a positive one. This requires awareness of your own thoughts. Keep watch for negative creeping in, because you cannot afford even a single negative thought to pollute the garden of your mind. The secret of the lake. Find a quiet place, close your eyes and simply breathe until you feel calm and your mind is clear. Then visualize, as clearly as you can, the person you wanted to be. For example, if you wanted to be happy, see yourself laughing and smiling. If you want to be brave, see yourself acting boldly at a decisive moment. The second principle is related to the lighthouse, which symbolizes goals in your life. A lighthouse shows the right direction, with the ship sailing in an ocean. Similarly, we should choose the right path in your life. You can only reach a destination if at all you know your destination. Choose the target and work on achieving it. You might have to face some difficulties while moving towards your goal, but if you're consistently moving in the right direction, sooner or later you're going to reach your destination. Exercises. Create a clear mental picture of your treasure trove or end goal. Give yourself some positive pressure so you don't slip back into your bad habits and self-doubt. Write a goal contract with yourself and include a timeline. Build your habit by taking a brave step every day towards achieving it. Remember, baby steps are still steps. Laugh along the way, because a day without laughter or a day without love is a day without life. The third principle is related to the sumo wrestle, which symbolizes Kaizen. Kaizen is a Japanese word that means continuous learning and improvement. Like a sumo wrestler has to be very specific with his diet discipline to achieve this huge physique. We need to always keep learning. Businesses in Zen has always been focusing on how we should inculcate the habit to reading books, because books are the best mentors. Not only you learn things from books, but you always keep improving in every small thing that you do in your life. Moreover, books are a consolidation of everything that the authors have learned in their entire lifetime, and you can have all that knowledge in just a few hours. So my point here is to take part in every activity which you think can help you improve in your life. Exercises. Sit in silence 10 minutes. Write how your day went out and what you want to change. Eat healthy food. Sport every day. Wake up at 5 am. Listen to music. Read every day. Use mantra. The fourth principle is related to underwear. Interpret self-control and discipline. Might be small and thin, but without that underwear, the vessel will be naked, and that really won't be a pleasing sight. Now, if you have seen cable wire from inside, you might be aware of the fact that it usually is made up of many thin wires which together form a cable. These thin wires might be weak alone, but when put together are even stronger than an iron rod. Similarly, our self-control and discipline is made up of every small thing that we do in our life. Be it waking up early or eating healthy, we will feel that these small things don't really matter. But in reality, these are the only things that matter. You won't see an instant impact, but in the long run, these small things can bring some big changes in your life, and they will define who you are as an individual. Exercise. First of all, do the hardest task. Repeat the mantra below and take a vow of silence for the entire day where you only speak to a direct question. I am more than I appear to be. All the world's strength and power rest inside me. The fifth principle is related to the golden stopwatch, which symbolizes time. No matter how rich or poor you are, you only have 24 hours in an entire day, not even a second more or less than anyone else. But the way we utilize these 24 hours is what makes us happy or sad, rich or poor. Most of us have this habit of procrastinating, which is nothing but a waste of time. By the time you're done with building castles in the air, someone else out there just signed a hugely profitable deal. By the time you wake up in the morning, someone else is running from the gym field, fit and happy. Now, when I say time is golden, it doesn't mean that we should always keep working. No, instead, we must enjoy and have some fun activities in our day-to-day life. And what's really important is to manage everything in those 24 hours. Every successful person knows how to manage time, so they manage to do every single activity in the same 24 hours that each one of us has got. What you should do. Rule 18/20. You have to have the courage to say no. Plan your year, month, week, day. Ask yourself a question: what if it's the last day of my life? How you want to spend it? Don't waste much time on phone. Stop watching TV. Now, the sixth principle is related to the fragrant growth. There is one really famous saying in China, which means that there is always a little fragrance remaining in the hand of those who give flowers to others. So here this flower and its fragrance symbolize social cause. Doesn't matter how much you earn or what height you reach, the satisfaction of helping others is priceless. No wonder why some really rich people in today's world do charity work, investing their hard-earned money in developing some rural village and many more things. So, if you want to have that priceless feeling of happiness and satisfaction, help others selflessly and you will find yourself happy most of the time. What you should do: make something kind every day. Help people when they need your help. Make new friends. The seventh principle is related to the path of the diamonds. The diamonds represent the small moments of happiness which come our way in life. These moments are always in the present time. Our human brains are designed in such a way that we tend to get disturbed thinking of our past and worrying about the future. That we have at present, it can literally be anything: playing with your kids in a nearby park, or maybe spending some quality time with your partner. These present moments are supposed to be lived in present, and these are the real diamonds in our life. If only you understand this now, you are really going to be good at the relationship, and well, a real happy, contented person. What you should do: be grateful. Understand that only you can change your life. I hope you like this video, so like and subscribe for more books review. See you soon!